Hello friends, we're back with another sunscreen for brown skin video, where basically I test the sunscreens which make specific kinds of claims in terms of being physical sunscreens with no white cast and seeing if they stand up to what I call the 3 Bs: beards, beading, and a beat. Does it collect in my beard and my hairline? Does it wear well over different kinds of skincare products, or does it bead up and peel? And 3, does it wear well underneath makeup, make it last, or make it break up? So with that, I'm going to be testing today the Dear Klairs Midday Blue UV Shield Sunscreen. This I've seen hyped up everywhere. I know they just revamped it, reformulated it, or what, but I know they had this kind of product or something similar before. And then somehow it's like this new repackaged version that I've seen a lot of people talking about. I've seen a lot of it in my Instagram and YouTube ads. Kelly Driscoll's talked about this. I believe James Welch has talked about this, and I've seen it just pop up a lot on different influencer accounts. So I was curious. My interest was piqued. A little bit about this. It cost me $20. I ordered this directly from Wish Trend, and it got here in like 2 or 3 days, which is really incredible. Again, cost about $20. Shipping was a little bit much, but somehow I had Wish Trend points already, so that bumped it down to just being right below 20. And on top of that, if you have either Rakuten or WikiBuy, oftentimes you can get cash back on these, so recommend getting that. Its claims are SPF 50, PA++++, 4 pluses. So that's actually really good for physical sunscreen. It specifically claims mineral UV filters. There's no chemical UV filters in this, so it's just zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. Lightweight formula, we're gonna test that claim. And it's vegan friendly. And it also has another star ingredient, which is guaiacylene, which they feature in like their Midnight Blue Calming, whatever. This is the same line as the Midnight's Calming line. The guaiacylene, I guess it's just kind of like a soothing kind of ingredient that also gives this that blue tint. But the thing that I'm like a little bit about is the people that I've seen test it really claim like, oh, there's like minimal to no white cast. Which with the Pareto sunscreen video I did, that was actually true. But this specific sunscreen also advertises a tone-up effect, which if you're not familiar, in a lot of Korean cosmetics, they have this thing called a tone-up effect, which is essentially a brightening effect. It actually lifts your tone up, so it's a little bit lighter, which in Korean cosmetics, they like to have a lot more of a brighter face. So this specifically advertises that, and I have tan skin. I'm about a Fenty 290, so I'm not like the most deep, the most tan, but I'm pretty good in the middle. So if it doesn't look good on me, it's definitely not gonna look good on deeper skin tones. And it specifically says it's made for combination to oily skin in that it partakes a mattifying effect. So we're gonna test all that, see how it works with different kinds of skincare. It's gonna be the same kind of review as I did for my Pareto sunscreen, where I do a 3-day wear test, where I do day 1, full extensive skincare routine with a minimal beat. Day 2, very simplified minimal skincare routine with a minimal beat. And day 3, minimal skincare with a full glam longwear beat. So that sounds good to you. Let's keep on watching. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if there's any other sunscreens you want me to try in the same vein, feel free to leave those down in the comments down below. So here we are at the end of day 3, and I'm gonna wrap it up right now, okay? Let me move out real quick just to get a look at things. And again, so we did a 3-day wear test with this. Day 1, I did minimal skincare, so just some hydrators, sunscreen on top of that. Full beat, I did a Fenty Friday look that day. And first day's reaction to this was I was genuinely shocked by the texture. The texture is what's really setting this apart for me in terms of a physical sunscreen. It gives me a lot of vibes of a primer. It has this really lightweight, really thin silicone texture while simultaneously being hydrating still. It's not the same richness and wateriness of the Comfy Water from Pareto, but in itself, it's not drying. It actually makes my skin feel pretty moisturized, so that's a plus. Looking at the white cast of the application, I am simultaneously pleased, but also turned off by it. Pleased in the fact that, I mean, it's not a white cast. It's not the Drunk Elephant SPF. It's not like a very standard mineral zinc oxide sunscreen, but it does have that tone up quality to it. The guaiacylene in this gives it that blue tone. For fair skins, that blue tone's actually a really brightening color. But if you are tan, dark, deep skin, that's just straight blue or lavender, depending on how deep your skin is. So granted, if you see in some of the footage I'm gonna show later on, I do initial application, give it a 5-minute resting period to see how it sets down. I noticed that tone up kind of diminishes slightly, but the deeper your skin is, I feel like that's going to be substantially more pronounced. Basically, think of this as a similar concept as the lavender pro filter setting powder from Fenty, in that it's used under the under eyes for that brightening quality. But overall, makeup that day went on beautifully. I didn't notice anything weird. Day 2, I did minimal skincare with light beats. Still overall, genuinely surprised by the texture, wore really well, and makeup went really well over it. But something I noticed then that's even more pronounced today is I feel like it was again sitting on top of my skin and makeup then set on top of that. Today I did full skincare with minimal makeup on top of that, and I noticed even more so that layer of sunscreen that's sitting on top of my skin and then makeup sitting on top of that. Nothing's really melding together. And I don't know if you can see in the close-ups of the end of day 3, I'm getting really weird texture, like more pronounced creasage and a lot of, I don't ever get product collecting in the outer corner of my eye, and it's collecting there. My eyelids are really creasy around the sides of my nose. It's a really nasty texture. I also napped today and had to wear a mask outside and it was warm, so I don't know, but something that I'll say that's probably user error is, once again, kind of like my Pareto sunscreen review. I did all of my skincare, all the layers of it, which was a lot. Essence, 2 toners, 2 moisturizers, treatments. Now let that set down so there was no slip underneath the sunscreen. While I use my hydrators and put sunscreen right on top of that, that slip really helps to blend things out and prevent any like weird texture happening. But it happened with this right now, so going off my 3 Bs, beard, beading, and beat. Beard wise, it collected slightly in my beard, nothing like standard physical sunscreens do. It was able to easily be covered up with bronzer and foundation, and minimal collecting in my hairline as well. But again, bronzer covered it easily. Today it's a little bit more substantial, I felt. Beading wise, it didn't interact negatively with any skincare underneath it. That's good. And then beat wise, makeup wore decently on top of it. With the fewer amount of layers underneath the sunscreen is going to wear a little bit better, and how you set it depends. I like to use my Milani Make It Last matte setting spray on this, and it really helped to adhere the makeup, set the makeup, hold the makeup, control the shine. You know, any breakup that happens here, for these wear tests, I don't blot throughout the day, and so oil's going to break through the sunscreen and the makeup and cause a little bit of wear and tear. If I were to blot more consistently, it'd be a little bit more pleasant looking. What I will say is true to most physical sunscreens though, there's this issue that happens sometimes when there is a white cast, or in this case, a tone-up effect, in that it discolors the foundation on top of it. And it's something my boyfriend noticed today more so, but also a little bit yesterday, was it kind of made things a little bit more dull and neutral than normal. So it's something to keep in mind. Overall, the Klairs Midday UV Blue Shield. It's a good sunscreen in that it's lightweight. It is decently soothing. I kind of went ham with some treatments. I'm having a little bit of irritation issues. And it wears really well under makeup in that it gives a really nice silicone texture to it. It's not heavy. It's still moisturizing though, so oily skin friendly. It claims to be mattifying, and for the most part, it does that really well. If I were to just wear this, I wouldn't be so shiny and radiant as I would with my normal sunscreens. I would recommend this if you were tan, dark, or deep. If you don't plan to wear a lot of skincare underneath it, and you do plan on wearing makeup. When I did full bead over this, my skin looked flawless. The texture was impeccable. Like, I was genuinely very shocked. With the lesser amount of makeup I wore in the last couple of days, it has become very apparent. Like, this is a tone-up sunscreen, and it does have that blue brightening effect. My thing with testing these sunscreens though is the fact that it's 2020, and at this point in other parts of the world, they are really kind of innovating and pushing the frontier with what UV filters can do and how sunscreens work. And so again, dear Klairs, a Korean brand. It is a physical sunscreen. And granted, they don't have tan or deep skin people in Korea, but it is an international brand. And also it's 2020. At this point, I feel like we should be in a point with this kind of technology that it should be a lot more available and accessible to all people of diverse range, to darker, deeper skin tones included, because everybody needs to wear sunscreen. We have to have sunscreen available for everyone. So that's what's important with me testing this out. And for the most part, this is pretty innovative in its formulation and its texture and whatnot, but there's things I still don't like about it necessarily. So I give this a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. It's definitely not as bad as a lot of other sunscreen textures I've tried. It's decently affordable. I got this for 20 bucks on Wish Trend. I somehow had like points that took this down in price, and I also got it in like 2 days. And you get a lot of product. It's 80 ml or 2.7 fluid ounces. So if you're interested in a physical sunscreen that is not heavy, is more oily skin friendly, but are aware that it's still gonna have that tone up and or white cast depending on how deep you are, I say go for it. It has qualities I feel the Comfy Water should have, but it's missing some of the things that make the Comfy Water amazing. So Klairs Midday Blue UV Shield. I'd say it's Hormone approved. If you like these physical sunscreens on brown skin reviews, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, just because the whole point of these videos is that I want to make skincare and cosmetic information more available to people of color, especially if you have a tan, deep, dark skin. Granted, I don't have dark skin. Just take what I say with a grain of salt. Leave down in the comments below if you've tried the sunscreen, your thoughts on it, and or any other sunscreens of a similar manner you'd like me to try, because I'm more than happy to do these kinds of wear tests for you guys. And yeah, thanks for watching.